Hey YouTube, welcome back.
And showtime.
So, things have been going pretty good for the channel since it was created last January. So far, over the course of 20 videos, you guys have contributed to over 10,000 minutes of watch time, approximately 3,000 total views, and at the time of this filming, Cats and Cars has 68 total subscribers. That's awesome. With your guys' continued support, I believe we're gonna hit that 1,000 subscriber mark sooner than you think.
Do you understand?
All right guys, this week, my buddy Chell, who's the GM at Porsche Bellevue, invited us to come back and check out his brand spanking new stock that he just got in. I'm pretty excited about it, so let's go ahead and see what he's got set up for us today. What a gorgeous day to film. Look at this outside. Oh, I love Seattle days like this. Blue sky, you can see for days. The water is super clear.
In the arms of...
I'm making my way on over to Bellevue again to show you guys this type of car that I haven't showcased on the channel yet. So it should be kind of interesting. All right, guys, look at it. We're back again. Porsche Bellevue. And again, what an awesome day. All right, let's go get set up. All right guys, we're back here at Porsche Bellevue. It is Sunday, so we do have this entire shop to ourselves. Check this out. Echo! It's kind of cool. Chell, the GM, invited us to come check out this brand new 2019 Porsche Macan S, and it's in that absolutely stellar Mamba green metallic. The 2019 Macan does come in two different models, the standard Macan and the Macan S. Porsche has not released any information on a GTS or a turbo at this time, but we can assume that they're coming down the pipeline. Hopping right on into it though guys, this Macan S does have that 3.0 liter turbocharged V6 from Audi that produces 348 horsepower. That's 8 more horsepower than the previous Macan S of 2018. And having that turbocharger being mounted in the V helps in delivering that 352 pound-feet of torque. Since the Macan S is a crossover, you can absolutely expect it to have all-wheel drive and a bit of quickness, but you're not really going to be taking it to the track, right? It does have that 7-speed dual-clutch auto transmission from Porsche that they like to call the PDK, and it'll get you a 0 to 60 in about 5.1 seconds with a top speed of 157 miles an hour. Though aesthetically, the 2019 Macan hasn't changed much, there are enough features in here that I do want to highlight once we do our walk around. So what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and get this thing started. All right guys, hopping into the 2019 Porsche Macan S. As always, let's go ahead and take a look at that key fob. Here's the 2019 Porsche Macan S key fob. It does look a lot like the GT2 RS that we did, except this doesn't have a matching green to the car. I wish it did, that'd be kind of cool. You do have the Porsche emblem up top, the unlock, the lock, and then also the trunk release. It is a crossover SUV in the photo. I think that's kind of cool. And then on the backhand side, you do have the panic button right here. So let's go ahead and unlock it and hop on in. Actually, before I do, let's go ahead and lock it one more time. I'll put the key in my pocket. It'll recognize that it's in my pocket when I touch the handle, and it'll automatically unlock. Just like that. All right, guys, hopping on in. This should be a little bit easier than the other cars I get into. Super simple. It is a little dark in here, even though the screen is off of the sunroof. These are tinted windows. Let's go ahead and pop it on over to auxiliary mode. The key is actually in my pocket. This is a, I guess, stationary key that stays there. We'll click it over one time, put it in auxiliary, then look up here, pull back on this guy, and then the entire roof goes back. Let's go ahead and take a look around the interior of this Macan S. It does come with the Porsche crest on the headrest. I think that's kind of a cool, unique option for this car. Makes it look a little bit more classy. Same with the Sport Chrono package. It's not something that you really need in this car specifically, but it does make the interior look a little bit more classy. It does have the Premium Plus package, which includes that upgraded Bose sound system. You also get the 14-way power seats. You get the Apple CarPlay and seat ventilation. So even though it's a standard black leather interior, it is perforated. You also get the heated steering wheel with the Premium Plus package, as well as the lane change assist. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the steering wheel and the gauge cluster real quick. Starting off with the steering wheel, it is pretty simplistic. I like it, except for right here on the bottom right, you do have your mode shifter, which is part of the Premium Plus package to go from drive mode to Sport Plus mode. You can see how it kind of switches right there. On the left-hand side, you have your volume up and down. You can answer the phone calls once the phone is connected to the car. You can hang up on this side. This actually controls that screen on the gauge. Let's go ahead and take a look. It's set on chrono right now. That's kind of cool because I was playing with it. I'll push it in and it gives me a start option. If I hit start, it'll actually reset this and start going. And then tracks it right here as well. I can scroll up and hit stop, and then I will hit reset and it resets it. And then give it a second. There you go. It starts back into its actual time. So if I exit the chrono option by hitting the back button here and then scrolling, I also have the vehicle information, audio, of course. I can control that from the steering wheel. The phone once it's connected through Bluetooth. Navigation, so you do have the small navigation screen here, as well as the huge 10.3-inch screen, touchscreen system here. We'll show navigation on that in a second. Keep scrolling through. I do, again, have the navigation, the trip tracking, TPMS, of course, for the pressure, the torque split, which is kind of cool to track in this car, and then back to the chrono package. Making our way on over to that huge 10.3-inch touchscreen. Let's go ahead and hit the navigation button here and look at that detail. Actually, take a look at it from back here. You cannot lose where you're going by any means. I love it. It's absolutely crazy, and it comes standard on the Macan and the Macan S. Super cool. Looking on down, this is something that you'll notice has not changed. On the newer Carreras and Panameras, this is like a glass touchscreen system console thing. I do much rather enjoy, and this is my own personal bias, having buttons here to actually touch. I do actually think it looks better as well. All right, guys, I closed the sunroof back up so we can keep the noise inside. Let's go ahead and turn this on. It sounds like it's warmed up. It is in normal mode. Let's go ahead and give it a couple revs. Still has some power to it. Let's go ahead and put it into the Sport Plus mode. And you guys can hear the exhaust did change a little bit. Let's go ahead and get it to 4,000. All right, it is a little bit more aggressive. Let's go ahead and shut it off and check out that engine. Just like the previous Macans, hood latch is right here. Go ahead and pull it back. Pops the hood. Then right underneath the Porsche, right here to the left and up. Super simple. It does have that double hydraulic system. It makes that hood very light. Let's go ahead and take a look at that 3.0 V6 that we were talking about earlier. You do have this big intake on the left-hand side. The plastic cover is on top. You can't really see what's going on there, but it is super clean. And one thing that I do really like about underneath the bonnet here is that the headlights are stationary and there's actually holes for them in the hood itself. I think it looks pretty cool. Like I said, not a whole lot to see. Everything is covered up. If you want to take a look, this is super simple how this unlatches. I don't know if it can get more simple than that. But be aware there are 2 latches on the left and right hand side. So when you pull down, make sure you have both sides fastened before you take off. And one thing with the exterior that has changed is that front bumper. I do like it. It's not a big aggressive change, but it does look nice. And then also, let's talk about these headlights. I've always loved with these headlamps when they're on, you do have the 4 LEDs that come shining at you. It does look really cool. On over to the side where we got the wheels here. These are the 20-inch Macan Turbo wheels. They are in high gloss black. They look really good. They're not the 21-inch Spider wheels that you see on a couple cars, but the 20 inches look fine nonetheless. Speaking of the high gloss black, you can get the window trim in the black. It does look really well with this Mamba green. And lastly, on the rear, the biggest change that you'll notice is that light bar going all the way across the back. We have an older Macan right here that does not have that light bar, so you can kind of see the difference of what it did look like. Coming back on over to this guy, we do have the blacked out tips as well, which look really good, the black and the green combination. I actually really love this color. And then popping the back here on the key fob, does automatically open for you, which is great. Storage space is what you would think, as expected. You can get a fair amount of stuff in there. Not the whole family again, but if you are traveling, taking stuff with you should not be an issue. And then looking up here, it does have the touch to close and lock, or just close. Let's go ahead and close and lock it. And it should give us a couple beeps when it's done. Just like that, perfect. And since we mentioned it earlier, I'll hop in the back and show you guys the size. I am 6'1". Again, I do have to kind of crouch back here. My head does hit the top. And my knees are pretty much on the back seat right here. I was sitting right there, and these seats are about equal distance back. It wouldn't be too comfortable a ride for me for very long. I could do it to go out to lunch and whatnot, but if I was driving down to Portland, it wouldn't be the best option for me. All right, guys, let's take this guy out. Driving the Macan S. I'm actually going to get on the freeway here going south. Let's go ahead and put it into Sport Plus mode. Make sure we have a clear on-ramp. And here we go. So I tell you what, the shifting from first to second to third is pretty aggressive in Sport Plus, and then it levels out after that. I'm not going to say how fast we went, of course, but we got up there pretty good. You almost feel like the front end, there's a lot, I don't know if it's the lightness of the vehicle or what, mixed with the torque and the horsepower, but I don't know if you guys could tell, but the front end almost felt like it came up a little bit once it's in Sport Plus, going onto the on-ramp. I mean, there's a lot of takeoff from first to second to third. That's another thing too, is that when it started going, I felt like I still had full control of the car. This doesn't, I don't believe, have the air ride suspension in it. I think that's an extra option. I think this just has the standard suspension, but it's still really good. And I'm not on the best highway anyways, right? It's not the most well-kept highway, so it is a little bit more bumpy than usual. The suspension in this right now, it feels a little stiff because I'm in Sport Plus, but as soon as I go back to normal mode, and again, it's on the fly with that little gadget right there, it just levels everything out. The only thing I can really compare this to, and this is my own personal bias, and I don't know if it's offensive to say this or not, but like Cadillac suspension, really nice, absorbs all the bumps and everything. When you're in normal mode, I mean, you just kind of float here. So putting it back into the Sport Plus mode, I think I have a little bit of open room in front of me here. I'm gonna go up and around some corners real quick. Oh, and it just hugs them. All right, guys, we'll do a quick launch control here. Let's get into place, make sure that no one's behind us. Oop, there we go. 100%, 100%. Awesome. Very cool. Well, that was the 2019 Porsche Macan S. And I tell you something that surprised me was how planted this thing was going around corners and how accurate the steering was as well. Guys, before I head on home and get this footage uploaded for you, I do need to give a big thanks to Chell, the GM at Porsche Bellevue again one more time for letting me come in on Sunday and use up his entire shop for this shoot. I think it was perfect. So that being said, let's head on home. Back now, guys, and I have to say that new Macan S has some kick to it. Though I don't think anyone's ever going to use that launch control in a practical sense, it is really fun. Overall, I think it's a great car as far as a crossover is concerned. You have the perfect amount of sport with a great sense of practicality, and I can't wait to see if Porsche is going to announce the GTS or a turbo model. As always, guys, if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button below, and we'll see you guys soon.